Greetings, Fright Nights and Monster Girls. I am Count Jackula.
And I'm the Horror Guru.
And we are here to vlog the next 4 episodes of Netflix's Lucifer Season 4.
We watched 4 this time, and quite a journey so far.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so look, just spoiler town, okay? So, what happens in these episodes is
we resolve the priest plot.
The priest plot, yeah. The priest plot is resolved.
Priest basically ends up going to jail because he orchestrates a murder or a series of murders in order to try to trap Lucifer.
Yeah.
Which ends up landing him in jail. And it turns out that the whole prophecy that he was talking about has something to do with Lucifer falling in love with his first love and that opening the gates to evil.
Yeah.
But we find out quickly that that first love might not be Chloe because he actually has an ex-girlfriend called Eve. As in the Eve. Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
And that's what kickstarts the next portion of the plot.
Yeah, and Eve is adorable.
Oh my god, she's like raver party chick from like a naive raver party chick from the other world who has not experienced most of life because she's been in heaven for thousands of years.
Yeah, and the only world that she knows is just being Adam's wife, which is not very satisfying to
Which
her.
is basically being like really boring conservative housewife from like thousands of years ago up in heaven for thousands of years. So
yeah, so she's down for the D.
Yeah. She's
down for the D.
So basically she's come back down to get with Lucifer and to rekindle their relationship and to party all the time.
Yeah, because it was really her reasoning for that was actually really touching.
Oh yeah.
Because as she says, you're the only one who ever asked me what I wanted.
Which is a nice detail. Because if you watch this show, that's what Lucifer always asks everybody.
Yeah.
The bad guys, good guys, what is it you desire?
What do you want?
you know?
And Eve's like, I don't know. I don't know what I want, you know?
And so obviously this gets in the way of the whole Chloe-Lucifer relationship because now there's a girl here who 100% accepts him and wants him to be as crazy and as out there as possible. So on the surface, this seems like, oh, this is a better deal for me. I am Lucifer and I can do this. And Chloe's having this whole freak out and nearly sent me back to hell because she found out I was Lucifer, whereas Eve just accepts me. So maybe I can go with this. And that's his main conflict for the next 2 episodes. But then things start to take a dark turn when it turns out that, like, okay, the partying, the orgies, that's all fine and dandy. But she also wants to bring back the sadistic part of Lucifer that he's kind of like flushed out of himself.
Misses the devil.
Yeah. And this is the devil that he himself has worked really hard not to be anymore because he does not like that image of himself.
Yeah.
So now we start to see the negative side effect of his ex-girlfriend coming in.
Yeah. He's once again turning into the tormentor. Yeah. And he kills again.
Yeah. Well, at least
as far as we know.
Because at the end of the last episode we saw, which I think was episode 6, I'm pretty sure that's episode 6, he fucking either snaps someone's spine or snaps their neck. We're not sure. All we know is we heard a
step and a crunch.
Yeah.
And it ended right fucking there.
So we obviously the next portion of this is going to deal with what Eve is turning him back into. Yeah. And how he's going to react to that as he realizes it's happening. Man, so far, like, this condensed season that they have,
it's working really well.
It's riveting as fuck because there's no lulls in between the plot.
It's like we don't have those episodes where it's like, oh my god, I get it, oh my god.
And sometimes the occasional off episode is fun, like those like one-off episodes they would do, like the one with the what was he, like a journalist who at the end of the episode
out to be Linda's ex-husband.
Yeah, at the end of the episode he's been trapped in a hell loop. Some of the times those episodes that don't necessarily progress the plot but are very interesting character studies, they're fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes. But like it's really nice to have a season in which the plot just keeps going and doesn't stop and it feels like everyone's progressing and not just reverting back to their old selves at the beginning of the next episode.
Yeah, because one of the biggest character twists is Lieutenant Douche.
Oh man, I'm really interested in where they're taking him.
Yeah. because of everything that has happened, he's kind of given up. He, like Lucifer, is giving up being a good guy.
Yeah.
And he is going back to being the crooked cop he used to be.
Yeah, like, and he like teams up with Maze at one point and kind of breaks the rules, and then he tries to go back on that in the next mission and tries to like do the goody good thing again, but it doesn't work out, and he kind of blames himself.
Yeah.
So like he's kind of going down a dark path, just like Lucifer is, but from a different angle. A lot of characters are in this season. Like, we continue the Ella plot of her kind of giving up on God. She straight up says at one point that like God doesn't exist.
And she starts doing drugs. She starts partying.
Now, the great irony of all this is that we know God exists in this universe, and we know that Lucifer exists because Lucifer's
right there.
Her surrogate brother on the show. So the great irony is that while her journey she's going through is very real and understandable and relatable, in the context of the show, we know she's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, we know in the context of the show she's wrong. But there's still that sort of weird aspect of like, well, should she really be worshiping this guy? You know?
Because we still have no real gauge onto how right Lucifer is about God, because he's basically being absentee father.
Yeah, so he's guessing all the time.
Yeah.
He's guessing what he wants all the time. And Amenadiel is now going to be the father of a baby celestial.
And the way that plot progresses is the way you kind of guessed it would progress. Eventually, the angels find out about the baby and try to take the baby back. And
they're like, we won't kill the mother, we won't kill the baby, but we're going to take it.
What's
taking
her name?
It back up. Remiel?
His sister
the new
that
angel
comes
is
down.
Remiel.
Who obviously seems to be an angel of the hunt.
Yeah.
That's basically the kind of like, because she's got wings like eagle wings.
Yeah.
And when she comes down, she's dressed in like the kind of medieval garb that most of the angels are before they put human clothes on.
She looks like she came like right out of Crusade.
But she looks like she's got like hunting garb on with like a spear and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, and she comes down to Amenadiel. We have a hunt, brother. Let's go on a hunt together.
This is a new celestial. We got to hunt it down. Come on, let's do this.
And of course, the celestial they're trying to hunt down, he turns out, is his son that is not born yet. So
yeah. So Amenadiel's like, yeah. So he kind of lies to her and trying to figure out, all right, I'm going to handle this.
And this creates another conflict because he's dealing with his sister and trying to protect his baby. That means he's kind of abandoning Linda a little bit to deal with the baby stuff on her own.
Yeah, because he's not telling anybody because there's an angel gunning for you that might steal the kid. And that might be a lot to deal with. So I find myself going like, well, look, that's why you got to holler at your girl, fucking Maze. She'll fucking...
That's another character that's having an interesting arc right now, because Maze is having this problem where she's found her purpose outside of everyone else, but she's also trying to figure out where she fits with everyone else now, because everyone else seems to not need her at all. You know, like Lucifer doesn't seem to need her. For a while there, Linda had Amenadiel, and so they didn't need her for the baby. But they do have this really touching moment where she gets her like this baby blanket.
Yeah, she buys a baby blanket.
Because the other thing we go into with Maze is her history with her mom, Lilith. The other woman in the Adam-Eve relationship.
Yeah. Basically, from Maze's perspective, Lilith is the mother that didn't love her enough.
Yep.
And from Eve's perspective, Lilith is the woman that her husband is always comparing her to.
And I'm really curious. I'm wondering if they're going to go further with Maze and Eve, because it felt like there was a little spark for a minute there. And I'm curious.
There was. They're connected through Lilith in this weird way.
Yeah.
And I am wondering whether they're going to go more with that, because I really liked that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Obviously, it can't work out with Lucifer because Lucifer and Chloe are like destined at this point.
Yeah. Like that's kind of.
So I'm like, I throughout this entire like couple episodes, I've been like looking for characters that Eve can get with, because I really like Eve and I don't want her to go away.
Great. Yeah.
So I'm like, oh man, what about Eve and Ella? Because there's an episode where Eve and Ella take Molly together at the club.
Yeah.
And they have this
fucking do drugs. I love the idea that like Ella is like, she finds out about Eve. She doesn't really understand who she is, but she's like, oh, Eve's the woman who's getting in between my friends and their relationship. Yep. Oh, I'm going to go over there. I'm going to march right over there. We're going to have words.
But they're very similar, and they get along really well, and they start taking drugs together and start making out and shit.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was a very subtle way to establish that Ella is not necessarily heteronormative.
Yeah. By just doing it.
Yeah.
By just doing it. It was kind of nice to just be like, oh, well, it's just happening.
If nothing else, she is bi-curious when she's high.
Yeah. We also dealt with the one of the other things that is being dealt with that kind of sends Lucifer into like a downward spiral is the nudist colony plot.
Oh, yes. Okay, here's the thing. We're on Netflix now, so that opened them up to do a lot of things they couldn't do before.
Yeah.
One of the first things you see is that you see Lucifer just flat out smoking a joint.
Yeah.
Like, you might intimate that they're doing drugs in previous seasons, but you rarely actually see them just flat out doing it most of the time.
Where it's just like, okay, he literally just rolls it up, fucking lights it, starts puffing away.
Same thing with the Molly. Like, there's certain things that you could get away with, because there is, like, episodes in the previous seasons where it's just like, oh, I took this joint and whatever, but you rarely see him light it and then smoke it.
You don't generally get to see people actually take the drugs. It's just like, they find them, and then they're on them.
You'll sometimes get the aftermath where they're holding the joint and it's smoking, but, but, like, it's a weird like TV thing, but they don't have those restrictions anymore. So now you can see the characters pull out the Molly, take the drugs, and stuff like that.
It's interesting because you're taking you're taking a PG-13 show. It's still a PG-13 show, but we're pushing it closer and closer to R.
And one of the other things that we get a lot more of is a lot more nudity, but not necessarily like full-on X-rated, like there's dongs flying around everywhere.
Yeah.
But we get a lot more Lucifer ass, for example.
Yeah. There's a lot of ass now in the show, and just bare, naked, and right there.
Hence the nudist colony episode where he goes to the nudist colony with Ella and they bare their asses. And walk around.
And the joke with the nudist colony is the same joke as from fucking Austin Powers.
Oh, yes.
Like everything is just conveniently placed.
Yep, because they don't want to go too far to where it's a completely different show, but they definitely wanted to push the boundaries.
Yeah.
And I thought they did a good job. I thought they did a good balance of that. I'd be totally down if they wanted to go hard R, but I also understand that this is a show that like a lot of people like watch with their kids
and stuff. Yeah,
so you can't take it too far.
Right, gotta
can't take it too far.
Gotta balance this. So I think they found a good balance.
They did.
It does feel like the same show, but it also adds stuff that felt conspicuously absent before.
The extent to which they're able to take the aftermath of the orgy scenes feels a lot further now.
Yeah.
Like it's subtly further, but it's further,
Yeah, like instead of like a scene where like everyone is just conveniently re-put on their clothes after sex.
Some of them are actually like still chained up and shit.
Yeah. Instead, now they're in bondage
Got
gear.
clamps and shit.
Yeah.
Like it's...
Yeah, now the aftermath is like people in bondage gear and like, lines of coke all over the place.
And to a certain extent, you got a lot of this stuff in the previous seasons, but they're able to take it just a step further now, and I kind of like that. Yeah.
Well, it feels like I said, they're adding things that felt conspicuously absent before.
Much like the they have more swear words now.
Yeah. Like it's just, people swear now.
Yeah.
Like I said,
we don't have to hide around it anymore.
Yeah, people don't have to say dumb replacement swear words anymore. It's just like, okay, well, he just says shit here. Like no biggie. But yeah, so in the nudist colony episodes, one of the things that happens is Lucifer's like, no, I'm not gonna. I ain't gonna be the way I was before. I ain't gonna do it. So he lets this guy go, but the guy throws these basically, pulls a chain, all these barrels fall on Lucifer. And so he makes an escape, and the guy kills a cop on the way out.
Yeah, and it's a cop that we actually established earlier in the episode because he buys donuts for the whole precinct, and he gives a special donut to her, but then realizes that, oh shit, these are the drug donuts.
These are the drug donuts for the other party.
But they established this other cop that's usually there. I think she's mentioned in the episode where he's initially saying goodbye to everyone, and she's like one of the random ones that he hugs.
Yeah. She's shown up in the series like twice before, and then it's like, oh shit, I didn't realize we were. That was one of the things that was so funny. I was like, I can't believe I didn't realize we were setting her up to be part of the body count.
Yeah,
but
I didn't realize it either. And it just happened.
Yeah, and then she's just dead, and Lucifer's mad because she's dead because he let this guy go.
Yeah, because I tried to be the good guy and it failed. Now the thing is that him being the good guy was not the problem. He just went about it wrong. You don't let a guy go.
Yeah.
You know, you take the guy to the police.
Yeah. If he had actually like straight up arrested him, it would have been all right. But like, he didn't quite put that together. Yeah, he fumbled the ball. Someone got killed.
But of course, this leads to the people at the precinct being pissed off at him, and this leads him back into the arms of Eve, who's basically just like, no, this is who you are. You know what you do. You go back and you punish him, and that's what leads to the whole like him like stomping on some guy's neck.
This dude, you know, and it's kind of interesting. I'm liking the way that they orchestrated it because you have Eve tempting Satan at this point, tempting the devil, but you also have Lieutenant Douche. Now he's the bad example.
Oh yeah, he's going down the devil's path.
Yeah,
you know?
because he's now like he is already compromising himself in a way you're like, ooh.
And on the flip side, you have Amenadiel going down a much lighter path.
Yeah, you know, Amenadiel's doing much better.
He's starting to become more and more human as the show goes on.
Yeah, but he's like having to do that thing where he has to be. You know, angels are coming down. They're like, "We hunt the Celestials." Like, that's my kid. I'll kick your ass.
Same thing with Maze, actually.
Yeah,
Maze is also having that opposite kind of journey.
Yeah. You know, she's like, my mother never loved me, but maybe I can love this kid, you know?
There's this really touching moment that really pulls your heartstrings where she's just like, no. You're anti-Maze, and you'll always be anti-Maze. You'll always have a place in this family. And you're like, oh.
You know, yeah, she's gonna be the one that like gives the kids like, this is a knife, kid. You know.
I also love the dramatic irony of the fact that the priest, in his efforts of stopping the prophecy and the potential apocalypse, might have kickstarted it.
Yeah.
Dividing him and Chloe.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird because you can see how this all happens, but none of it is But none of it is through the actions of any of the characters. It's just, how to put it, it's just fate. It's
because I find myself sitting here going like, okay, there's a lot of interesting places you can go here. You could either go that she goes so far that she like re-triggers the rebellion.
Yeah.
like she tries to push Lucifer so far that he's back in his rebellious state where he like waged war with heaven, which would be one way the apocalypse could happen.
Yeah.
Maybe he ends up realizing what's happening, rejects her, and then she opens the gates to hell or something. Like,
yeah.
Like there are multiple ways you can go.
Maybe the birth of this baby is what causes it.
Maybe the baby's the actual cause. Who knows? But you can see, like, there are many avenues they can go with, and I'm going to be curious as to which path they'll take.
Yeah, they're doing a really, really good job, and the show is, despite all even when it takes a dark turn, it's still fundamentally a fun show.
Because even when Lucifer's like starting to go down the path of like running away from his problems and all that stuff, his way of running away from his problems is having giant orgies.
Yeah. Although one of the scenes that really stuck out for me was Maze in Lama's class with because they're watching like a birth video. Everyone's like, oh God. And this is where the head breaches. And Maze is just sitting there with popcorn like, yeah.
And then they're done. It's just like, do you have any questions? Yeah. Can we see the part where they cut the placenta again?
Yeah. No, it was like, can we see the one where the perineum rips again? You know, I don't know. Maybe we should move on instead.
Yeah, Maze is great. That character's awesome.
Yeah.
There's a whole episode in which Lucifer is torn between his life with Eve, now that he's with Eve, with his ex-girlfriend, and his life with Chloe as detective.
Yeah.
And in that episode, Eve ends up feeling really abandoned by Lucifer going off and working all the time. So Maze takes her out. And they have like a fun adventure off screen, and they end up coming back with like chainsaws and like bloody noses.
Yeah. You know, like,
and like it was one of those scenes where I'm like, oh man, like I'm not much for the whole shipping thing, but I'm starting to ship these two together.
Oh, it's real. Well, it's because it's really cute. It's like they go out and they just have the perfect girls' night out.
Yeah.
You know, somehow
because she could totally give her everything that she wants from Lucifer.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because Maze already is all that. Like,
yeah. Well, like the thing that the other part of it is that you see why Eve is kind of pushing him towards this because one of the problems that Lucifer is he's very bad at balancing things, and so he's trying to keep his relationship with Chloe. While they're officially still friends, you can tell he's still kind of carrying.
He's still pining for her.
He's still pining for her. But
he's in denial about it, but
yeah. But he doesn't want the friendship to end either, and so he's trying to make everything better with these grand gestures, but he keeps fucking them up because
he mixes up a present at one point. Like he was apologizing to both Chloe and Eve, and he sends each other's presents to the other one.
Yeah.
Oh, the classic fuck up. Like,
yeah, and oh god, it was good.
What I
was
also
really
love about
good.
all this is that I actually am starting to like Chloe a lot more this season, because now that she's in the know and she's totally in on Team Satan and wants to be with Lucifer, I'm really liking her whole arc of like just trying to like make what they're doing work, but also being really upset and also being really jealous of Eve, but not wanting to be a bitch. And like, I'm kind of liking her little conflict she's got going on.
Yeah, because like the problem is, as Maze points out, which is, Linda's known. Linda dealt with it way better than you did.
Yep.
You know, she's like, but it's got to be difficult. He's like, well, she didn't betray him.
Yeah, she locked herself away and she freaked out, but she never tried to send it back to hell.
Yeah, never tried to send it back to hell. Never entertained that.
She never turned to the church.
Which is a big deal.
I did like that the entirety of the church was not behind the rogue priest dude.
Yeah, no, that worked, because they're just sort of like, dude, you're fucking killing people.
You're murdering people.
You're
what the
murdering
fuck?
people. And he's like, but you don't understand. He's the devil. And they're like, whatever, dude.
Even if he's the devil, you murdered people.
Like, what the fuck, man?
I'm like, okay,
can't do this.
That's an idealized version of the church, but I can go with it.
Yeah. Like we can deal with the fact that this is the version of the church that exists in this universe. You know.
But I really love that scene where Lucifer, while they're on a stakeout, because he's been burning the candle at both ends. So he passes out in the middle of one of their stakeouts. And so Chloe has this moment where she's just talking to him asleep, and it's just like, I hate that you're happy. I hate that you... And,
I like that you're happy, but I hate the way you're happy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I hate what you do when you're happy.
And I love that like moment of like brutal honesty from Chloe that we normally don't get, because she's the kind of person who puts up this wall all the time.
Yeah.
And I really like that opening up, because we never see her in therapy the way we see Lucifer. Or
Yeah. And like, that's a big... It's an important moment, because you find yourself going like, okay, this is ultimately why this isn't working.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because asking someone to give up happiness is kind of fucked, and she knows it.
And she knows.
You know, she knows it, but she's not sure what to do.
Yes.
Because she's in that situation.
Yeah.
You know, she doesn't want to be a bad friend at the very least. She doesn't want to be that.
Absolutely.
You know, so how does she handle this? And you know, I think if we're gonna go with this thing where they do end up together, it kind of has to be that Lucifer learns responsibility and she learns to be less responsible.
Well, yeah,
she learns to loosen up.
Ultimately, she needs to loosen up, and that's kind of her problem.
Yeah,
she's too uptight. She needs to be able to go out and have fun with Lucifer while also going and being serious at the workplace.
Yeah.
You know, and Lucifer needs to know how to be more serious in the workplace, because like he gets pretty bad this season. Like he's normally pretty bad, but like showing up in orgy pants.
Oh my God. Yeah, he shows up in fucking like assless pants at one point.
I'm like, okay, that's a little far. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, oh, these are the party pants.
Yes. I brought my orgy pants to work today.
Oh well. Oh God! And then he like fucking uses like fucking like evidence tape to fucking cover up the hole.
Yeah, and I love that reveal later where he walks around and you see the tape on his ass, and you're just like, oh God,
oh my God,
it's beautiful.
So, hey, so far thumbs up, man. You know, it's going great. Episode 6.
It's probably my favorite season since the first so far.
Oh
like,
yeah,
it's on a good.
Yeah, it's on a really track. Good. It doesn't drag like the middle of the third season was starting to drag.
The third season had some dragging problems. Yeah.
Like that one of all the seasons, that was the one.
Speaking of that, though, I did like that they acknowledged that Eve is Cain's mom.
And, they did, yeah.
And they have a whole scene where Amenadiel's like, so how do you feel about him killing your son? And it's just like, well,
he killed my other son.
He killed my loving, beautiful Abel, so he kind of had to come in.
Yeah. He kind of deserved it, you know? I'm pretty sure he's getting what's coming to him.
To be fair, Cain was a piece of shit. Like,
oh no, Cain was a complete
because here's the
piece
thing,
of shit.
I get the whole I'm cursed, I did this terrible thing or whatever. But there's also this part of me that's just like, yeah, but you're living forever, kind of like Lucifer. Couldn't you learn, like Lucifer, to live it up a little bit? Like,
yeah.
Do you have to live forever uptight? Like,
do you have to just be an asshole all the time?
You know, like.
If you just have to be an unlikable asshole.
Because you could clearly do what Lucifer does and just kind of live it up. Because no one can kill you anyway, so you don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah.
So you could just party every day and do shit, and and I don't understand why you've decided to dedicate your life to just being a fucking buzzkill.
Yep. Why'd you dedicate your life to being Tom Welling?
Well, I guess no one chooses to be Tom Welling. You just
the Tom Welling chooses you.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So till next time, Ave Satanas, Disco Inferno. Keep watching fucked up movies. And Guru, where can they find you?
You can find me at The Horror Guru on Twitter, on Twitch, on YouTube. Just look up The Horror Guru or Blood Splattered Cinema, and I'll be there.
And you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. I also am on Twitch. But the big thing is that we stream here on YouTube every Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And again, on Sunday, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And you know what else? We got that Patreon.
Yeah, we got the Patreon.
Yeah. So if you want to kick in $1 or whatever so that we continue to do these vlogs, despite the fact that YouTube keeps not wanting to give us a lot of money.
It helps with everything.
It helps with everything.
Vlogs. It helps with the other videos. It helps with the streams. Helps with everything.
Yeah.
If you just want to support us, go Patreon's in the
Please,
description.
we will be eternally grateful, and we know that it's what you really want. Night, everybody.